What's up, guys? I know I'm pretty bad at this. Today, well, we've been working on four-wheeler recently, and it was running rough and couldn't figure it out. Didn't have a check engine light on. This one does allow it. Um, couldn't figure it out. It would start and run, and wouldn't run right. So I started diagnosing it and came up with a dirty injector. So yesterday I cleaned it and didn't record it. So luckily, I have another injector, a stock one. So I'm going to clean it, show you how I do it. So I use carb clean just because it's what I have. I made this fancy dancy adapter tool out of a valve stem. I drilled a hole, epoxied it, and super glued it so it stays on the injector like so. I like to flush them backwards so any junk that came from the fuel pump actually comes out. I'm just gonna throw this in the vise quick, like show. So, the injector's in. I use 12 volts just because it's what I have. Not that you couldn't use a 9-volt battery, I do have one of those. But, I also made this fancy dancy pulse tool so I can just click it. So, what you will do is, however you are able to. Like I said, I just quick made this together. You go to the injector terminals, hook it up to the battery. My battery just has alligator clips, so it works pretty easy. Down goes the phone. Really need to get like a different style camera, but just quick connect the positive up. Then I will connect the card clean up. I have to reposition this a little bit. So the reason why you have to adapt it is because it needs to be pressurized. So this injector works, which I don't think it does. Normally you would hear a clicking sound, but so this might be difficult. Let me do something like that. Okay, so you can still see. All right, so you would pressurize. Yep, this injector's bad. So it does work. Let me get the injector out of the four-wheeler. Alright, finally got it out. Not that easy. So, for Can-Am, this is a green injector. It has a different pulse and flows a little bit more fuel. Take and set this guy. Vise. Make sure you can see it. Now we'll take and quick look at the little fancy dancy terminals, right? So now if I'm quiet, you should be able to hear this one click. Ready? Where the other one, the stock injector, didn't. So this injector is bad. So now that you've heard it click, by again hook up my fancy dancy pressurized carb clean, and then as long as I'm actually pushing down on the nozzle, not bending it. So that's why you gotta try to hold it and do multiple things at once, which isn't always the easiest, but I don't know how well that showed, but Either way, it did shoot fuel out of this end. So now you want to do it the other direction. You grab. So sometimes you can get it so that it fits over. I unfortunately did not. So I take and do it kind of ghetto. But it still works. So all I did was connect the truck to the injector adapter. It's actually what's stock on them. It's what the fuel line hooks up to. And then put the injector in it. Now, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to push down on the carb clean. Trying to hold everything all at the same time. To pressurize it. So, as you saw this fuel spraying out, it was also cleaning the injector. Injectors are kind of neat. They have different spray patterns, different CCs. So if you look at this one, let me grab I'll pick or something. This one has, oh, that's hard. The 4 holes that it's spraying fuel out of. This stock one also has 4 holes, but in a different configuration. These are tighter together than what these are. Also, this is a pointed tip. This is more of a rounded tip. The injector length is a little bit different, but not enough that it makes a difference. And I'll try again to shoot it reversed, just because I don't know if it's needed, but my philosophy is normally if the injector's dirty, it's better to spray backwards and get the stuff out of where it's coming from. This time I'll try to hold everything different. Maybe you guys can see the fuel coming out of it. So I'm going to click the injector first and then spray. There you go. Once you're done with that, just take the leads off. Disconnect the battery. So I actually take all my parts that are meant for the 4-wheeler or the side-by-side, and I have a drawer in the toolbox. The ropes I use for limiting straps, and then I got weights, all sorts of different stuff. So that'll all go in the same drawer. So it is there the next time I need it. So now that the injector's clean, I just reinstall it, which we'll get to that a different day. Basically all you're doing is putting it back in the injector holder for this 4-wheeler, bolting it down, connecting the harness back up to the injector. This 4-wheeler has been a Mod Podge of parts and fixing stuff. For instance, the wires for the coil were cut, so I had to repair those. Not the best way to do it, but it works. The injector harness was cut, so I ghettoed it back together. Again, not the best way to do it. Should actually unpin it add the wire, and then connect it back up. It works. This is a 2008 Can-Am DS450. It has a mild motor. It's got a 13.6 to 1 CP piston, dual exhaust cams that are stock degree, and a head that's milled 30 thousandths.